Hello, hello. Hope you guys doing fantastic today. Historically, one of the most popular comments that really stuck to me throughout my career of making PoE2 videos was people generally speaking hated using Perfect Strike. I'm not saying that this was something that I saw every single video or something like that, but occasionally there and there were comments where people were saying, "Oh, I hate Perfect Strike. Is there anything else in Perfect Strike? It's just like, can I use anything else in Perfect Strike?" So as I kept optimizing the one punch Titan, I came to realization that yes, you can actually do something much better with this build. If you don't like Perfect Strike, if you, for example, struggling with releasing the right time or stuff like that, if you feel like it's too slow, there is a way to solve that. And in this video, we're going to basically briefly talk about that. I'm going to give you like a showcase what's happening, and towards the end, I'm going to explain why things are this way. And also, I'm going to give you a short update on what I've been doing with this build. Yeah, basically that's going to be it. So let's jump into it. So excuse me. We're going to do like a seepage map, for example. Let's do a seepage, and let's see what's gonna happen. I have the right. Everything is correct. That's right. Let's do it. Let's do it. As you can see, first of all, I drastically increased the amount of HP that I have because I decided to drop this. Every second slam, your slam is ancestrally boosted, which is more damage and more area. I decided that this is just silly at this point. This is an overkill. So I'm just running more life, which at the same time gives me regeneration. It feels much better. Someone mentioned yesterday that is it worth it to use these gloves articulated, def articulated, that gives you permanent rage at the cost of us having to invest into recovery. My answer to that is absolutely yes, because that doesn't only solve the problem with, of course, it gives you max rage always, so that's a massive amount of damage, and it's like very convenient for mapping and also for bossing. But at the same time, that regeneration that we get, number one, it's much easier to get on Titan because of hulking form. And secondly, at the same time, it solves very high life costs for Leap Slam. So long story short is absolutely yes, it is worth it. I think even for single target, these gloves, even if you did a setup properly and you started the fight with like max rage and stuff like that, it's still better for single target because it's going to beat +2 gloves, +2 to melee skill gloves, simply because you can use supports like Rage Forged, which is going to be giving you 35% more damage, which is absolutely amazing. Of course, this is not a straight up 35% more damage. This is going to be like, instead of like a 20 or 25% damage support, but still the fact that you always have maximum rage is just like, even against bosses, this is more damage, these gloves. And the best part about these gloves is they actually provide some useful stats on top of that. They provide very high chaos resistance, they provide some attack speed, so in my opinion, great choice. Oh yeah. The tankiness improved very drastically. As you can see, I have 3 charm slots. I didn't buy the charm slots yet, but I feel like I'm going to further optimize this build once I get the charms, because I want to get freeze, stun, and shock immunity. With these immunities, we don't really care about alignments anymore. We don't really care about stuns and stuff like that, so I think I'm just going to drop the armor from the build pretty much completely and instead focus on other things. Like, for example, even more regeneration and stuff like that, because regeneration, generally speaking, feels good. Another thing that yesterday someone mentioned is that are you guys supposed to avoid the less recovery mod? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Because less recovery is one mod that this build is just not going to like. But anyway, we got to the boss. You guys hate using Perfect Strike, right? Watch this. We're going to do the weapon swap as always. And we're just going to swap these 2 gems. I'm just going to tell you right now that for the future, this is not even going to be mandatory because you can have 2 leap slams. So this is not even going to be needed. But yeah, I just dropped the area and I got a little bit more damage, right? The rest is the same. Still, we have aftershock. All right, let's see how much damage we're going to do the boss. just going to use the curse. I'm just going to use this, and we one-shot the boss with Leap Slam. As you saw, the first hit for about 3 million, I believe. So with Aftershock, which is guaranteed because we have 100% to Aftershock, this is about 6 million, 6 million Leap Slam damage. And the best part about this is that I'm still far from hyper optimizing this build, and of course there's other stuff I could do. Another thing is, as I mentioned before, I got more maximum life now, Mysterious Lineage, instead of this. This obviously would be another 30% more damage. So instead of hitting him for 3 million, he would actually get hit for 4 million, and he would get literally one shot without even the Aftershock. Of course, I could, if you don't like Aftershocks for some reason, I could drop these two supports and add another, 30% more damage and probably like another 25% more damage. With this and with this, that would be, we will be getting close to 6 million damage. But I think that aftershocks are straight up better, so there's just no need to even think about that, right? So yeah, if you guys don't like using Perfect Strike, that's all you gotta do. Just use Leap Slam and just one-shot bosses with Leap Slam. I mean, damn, I'm a genius. Why have I not thought about that before? I know why, because this character is going to be doing like absolutely disgusting amounts of damage, but yeah, we're just going to finish the map real fast, and after the map, I'm going to quickly go over updates that I did, some shocking information, at least to me. I got surprised really hard when I saw that, and on top of that, I'm going to try to explain why we are doing such gargantuan amount of damage. I mean, you know, like Leap Slam is a skill that does a lot of damage, but you know what? Leap Slam is not necessarily. It's not like other skills do much more. If we're talking like single target skills, right? So if this Leap Slam already does 6 million damage with Aftershock, you can only imagine how hard other skills could hit, right? I mean, my Perfect Strikes would hit for like 8 mil at this point, I think, if not more. No, I think it would be more. But no, this would be more than 8 mil. My Perfect Strikes would hit for like 10 mil already. So this is just absolutely insane, right? All right, we got the rares. Okay, and we are going to talk about how to scale damage. How am I scaling damage on this build? Number one, the Deepest Tower. Helmet that makes enemies in your presence, basically they count as low life permanently, which means that we can utilize these passives over here and these passives over here. I'm going to talk about it very briefly because I talked about it yesterday, but Titan increases the effectiveness of these small passive nodes, which even before that were already very strong. That simply means that I did some, I don't remember in PoB, I've been doing some changes, but we have about, assuming that also we have Wed on weapons, 108, 109%, we have about 1200% increased damage on this build, which is like just sky high number, right? Like this is absolutely insane number. Like this helmet, like with all these nodes, basically I don't want to say that gives us double damage, but I think it's about close. It's about close. Of course, it's a sacrifice because this helmet doesn't provide anything besides a little bit of life and chaos resistance at this point. But I think it's a sacrifice worth taking, especially that you can get a corrupted one with life regeneration rate, which is even better, right? Or something else even, 2 sockets, whatever, right? Number 2, Death Articulated, as I mentioned before. I love these gloves. They fit into this build very nicely because I wanted to do very high regeneration build anyway. Right now we're regenerating for 850 life per second. It's like almost 20%, about 20% of our life, right? And this is great because this 5%, when we have this much regeneration, it doesn't really feel like much. And having Permanent Rage, being able to utilize this cluster over here, which once again gets even stronger because we're Titan, becomes just really strong, really powerful, really strong. Can't say enough good things about it, boys. Take it and use it. That's not the only benefit. It also gives you more damage, which you kind of can't see because you can use Rage Forged, which is 35% damage pretty much always. If you still want to keep using Perfect Strike, for example, I'm just going to give you an example, right? If you want to keep on using Perfect Strike, Rage Forge is going to give you 35% more damage, and till you stop channeling at the start of next Perfect Strike, your Rage is already full. So this is literally like a more damage multiplier for you just because you have permanent Rage, right? And then there's of course other benefits of having Rage permanently. So against bosses, you don't always have permanent Rage. Even if you do the setup perfectly, the Warcry is going to consume 10 Rage to begin with, so you're always going to lose some damage. You're never going to have max Rage. With these gloves, you will always have max Rage. So these gloves for damage, they're fantastic in my opinion. So that's number 2. Number 3, of course, you know, the obvious thing, we are Titan, so the 50% increased effectiveness on small passive skills. The Titan is going to be the highest damage ascendancy that you can get for a warrior, and that's just self-explanatory, right? But number 4 thing that I wanted to talk about, which shocked me to the core. Okay, maybe I'm just being a little bit too dramatic, but the thing that shocked me is that I got this jewel. And I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't even check before. We are like, what, almost 4 weeks into the league? I didn't even check before this jewel because I thought it's going to be ridiculously expensive. Because from the very beginning, I thought, like Leap Slam is by far, and I'm not even joking, by far the best clearing skill for Warrior in the game right now. Of course, we have Bone Shatter, but Leap Slam is still, I think, a little bit more universal. So, with Leap Slam being this good this league, and frankly speaking overbuffed, this jewel must cost like insane amount of money, right? So I checked this out literally like 30 minutes ago, and it cost me 2 divines. It cost me 2 divines, right? And there is plenty of them for 2 divines. So, like, if you want for 2 divines, increase your damage because Leap Slam scales very hard with skill levels. If you want to increase your damage by huge amount of like 25% or something like that, it gave me like a of damage. Then just get one yourself because this is crazy. Of course, you have to take into consideration that at this point, my Leap Slam is level 37. It costs 1100 life. But I have a lot of life regen, so something to keep in mind, right? But yeah, guys, just literally just take it and to take it and use it, boys. Can't say enough good things about it, right? So that's pretty much the reason why we're doing such gargantuan amounts of damage on Leap Slam. And I guarantee you guys that even before the upgrades that I did today, which I'm going to talk about upgrades in a second, I was one-shotting bosses yesterday on stream. One boss like literally got one tapped without even the aftershock, right? But generally speaking, you know, in case someone says that it's going to be a clickbait or something like that, I considered aftershock like still a one-shot, right? Because you only click the skill once. So aftershock surely counts, right? I mean, I invested so much into aftershock. This boss would still die if I put damage supports here. So, you know, it would be the same thing, right? So to me, it's a one-shot. Even with aftershock, it's still one-shot. The boss will, like almost every boss in the game, will get stunned from the initial hit. So they're not going to be like dangerous after they get stunned, and then the aftershock is going to finish it off like a second later. So yeah, it is what it is. Now, when it comes to upgrades, what I did is I got a very nice amulet and a very cheap amulet. Of course, this is not the best thing in the universe because it has 2 completely dead prefixes, accuracy and evasion rating, but it has maximum life, attributes, life regeneration, and +2 to melee skills, so pretty much all that this build needs. If you're looking for an amulet like that, I think that at about 5-6% life becomes better than very, very high flat life. I'm talking like 140 plus. So this is something to keep in mind. Like percent life, generally speaking, it's so rare to find nowadays that percent life on amulet is going to be massive life boost. So percent life is going to be, and funnily enough, when I was searching the trade, percent life, generally speaking, were cheaper than flat life. So this is why I bought this amulet for 1 divine, right? Belt that I bought also for 1 divine, with resistances, strength, life flask recovery rate. I recover a lot of life from flasks, so that's like extra little small boost. This flask, by the way, I should get a better one because this one is really bad. But yeah, the most important stats, as always, life, strength, resistances, and regeneration if you can get it. And I bought some rings, but it's nothing special. I tried to honestly not buy anything expensive. So I do believe I bought this for 1 divine, this for 1 divine, this for I think literally every single item here was 1 divine, literally, right? This ring was definitely 1 divine. This ring could have been even less. I think I bought it for like 60 exalts. So, but generally speaking, yeah, it's the same idea as yesterday. You want life, strength. If you want to go Giga DPS, you can skip life if you want, but you remember that you still need strength. But if you're going to skip like life on one of these rings, nothing is going to happen, right? It's going to be okay. Like you're going to lose like 150 life. Big deal, right? We're not playing hard. This is not a hardcore build, so yeah. And that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. Next video, which is going to be tomorrow or in 2 days. I don't know, but I'm going to let you know on Discord also. But obviously, as always, the links for everything are going to be in the description. I'm going to stream this character like probably like in 30 minutes after uploading the video or something like that. So you can check out the stream also and ask questions if you have any. And also the mobalytics, the bare bone version of this build is going to be in the mobalytics. I'm going to update to this version right now, the current one, so that you can see how the character progresses. And the next video is going to be basically I'm going to try to do 3 different versions for this build. One for mapping, one for bossing, that is potentially going to one-shot tier 4 pinnacle bosses. I think I can do this, by the way. I think I can do this with this character. And even like without like crazy expensive gear, I can do this. So that would be like even easier with like 100 divine maces or something like that. And the third version, which the video is going to be about the tanky version of this build. So basically, one punch titan with a shield. The one that you don't really have to worry about dying while mapping because it's going to have 5,000 life block and it's still going to clear monsters very nicely. So if you're excited for this one, stay tuned because I'm pretty excited. This is a very fun character. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you next time.